Red flag. Red flag. Red flag.
The nigga was too stunned to speak.
Mix between a Z and a J, so like, I use G's pronouns. G's going to the store. G's having your friends over.
Man, I didn't think 2022 was gonna start off this dope, but damn it, did it start off awesome! Watch this! Suspended from Twitter! Gone! Goodbye! So deserved, too. I've been waiting for this, man. I've been waiting for this for months, for years now. Trump got banned for misinformation. This person has been spewing misinformation for years now. Good job, Twitter. Thanks for starting off 2022 perfectly.
Now, if you're going to be out doing activism that might draw a little more attention from people than you care to, I'm not saying that adding temporary tattoos in highly visible places might be beneficial.
So, the patriarchy is like a man having his boot on a woman's neck. Feminism is women asking that the boot be removed. Men's rights activists think that having to take their boot off a woman's neck is some sort of reverse oppression. Conservatives figure that there was never a problem with the boot being on the neck until the woman started complaining about it, and if everybody would just shut the fuck up, things would be fine. Good guys take any complaint about the boot as a personal attack because not all men wear boots. Male allies try to discuss the issue in a way without alienating the boot. Women with internalized misogyny don't know why these other women are complaining about the boot on their neck. They love having the boot on their neck, and there's something wrong with the women who complain. Meanwhile, the boot stays on the fucking neck.
Shall we die?
The black flag symbolizes many things, including piracy and anarchism, as well as the black standard of Islam. But in this context, this absolute disgrace is using it to announce that he will take no prisoners and leave no survivors, even upon surrender, but instead will execute anyone he views as an enemy. This is a direct violation of the Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, and a literal war crime under Section 2 of Article 8 of the Roman Statute of the International Criminal Court, and no one who flies that flag should ever be allowed to wear a badge or carry a gun under any circumstances. If the decision regarding the life or death of a citizen belongs anywhere at all in a civilized society, then it belongs only in a courtroom in the hands of judges and juries and absolutely nowhere else. Because, as Associate Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas said in 1968, to give the police greater power than a magistrate is to take a long step down the totalitarian path.
Can communists start making aesthetic infographics that I can repost on my Instagram story? I need to radicalize my followers.
When you're black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all.
Now, when I ventured into the comments, I expected everyone to agree that he was out of line. You know, because it's good practice to avoid groping strangers. But I was baffled, bewildered, stupefied to find that many people were defending him and demonizing her. Oh, he looks so fun. He was trying to hype you up. I don't see why you have an attitude. People are passing judgment on her for not wanting to be touched by a stranger. And really, this demonstrates how society has a general disregard for boundaries and consent. Some of y'all really believe that you have access to someone else's body because they had the nerve to exist around you. So if no one else told y'all, then let me be the first. It doesn't matter if you're joking. Doesn't matter if you mean it as a compliment. It doesn't matter if you're trying to talk to somebody about their car's extended warranty. It is not okay to touch someone unless you have their clear consent. So regardless of his intent, that woman was violated. Period.
American dream. Best country in the world.
So I said for 2022 I was going to change up my content a little bit and start having really hard conversations. So let's get into it. There is a difference between being a male ally and an advocate for change and a male feminist. Men who truly want change will stick up for women, but not just women. They will also stick up for people of color. They will stick up for the trans community. They will stick up for the LGBTQ plus community. They will stick up for indigenous people. They will also stick up for other men, because that is the definition of true equality. And they also understand I can talk till I'm blue in the face, yet men will listen to other men. And the most effective way to make better men, better societies, better communities, is to model that behavior. These men are leading by example, showing that it's okay to show emotion, showing that it's okay to get help if you are experiencing a mental illness, showing that it is okay to talk about suicide and your feelings, saying it is okay to admit that you were a survivor of abuse, redefining typical gender roles, explaining what functional relationships look like and successful ones do, pointing out the mistakes, but also celebrating the good. They will not merely make jokes and point out how men are failing. They will explain what they can do better. They will not merely make a 60-second stitch and make jokes. They will start these hard conversations that we need to have. They will promote good women and men's accounts by stitching, duetting, interacting, tagging people in them. They will come from a place of empathy, compassion, and positivity. Some may be feminists, but most are just average men talking to other men, which is the most effective way we are going to change. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. I just saw a scientist encourage a young boy to wear fingernail polish, thus breaking down that stereotypical gender norm. Or one of my favorite creators, Thomas Bishop, he calls himself a villain, but he's my teddy bear. But he doesn't hold any punches. He tackles racism. He tackles sexism. He tackles homophobia. He tackles transphobia. He holds women in the highest regard. He works very hard to promote us. Women, this doesn't absolve us of our responsibility either, because I, for one, want to see this gender war end. This is part 1.
Hi, it's International Pronouns Day. I'm a non-binary elementary school teacher, so here's how I talk to my students about pronouns and such. Hi, my name is Mix K. It's mix. So kind of like cookie mix or mixing bowl, that sort of thing. That's how it's pronounced. That is my name. That is the name that I'm comfortable with. It is the name that makes me happy, and I would like it if you referred to me as such. See, I'm not a Mr. or a Miss, so I go by Mix because that's what makes me happy. Now, you have a name that you like to be called other than the name that's on the paper, right? It's the same thing for me. I have a name that I prefer to be called, and that's the one that you're going to use for me, okay? Now, I don't consider myself to be a boy or a girl. I just see myself as a person. So that's why I go by Mix. So I'm actually non-binary. I'm not really comfortable with feminine terms being used for me. If you can find some alternatives, that would be great. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her. Thank you so much for asking. What are yours? Talking about gender is not something that's out of the realm for children. Honestly, the most understanding people when it comes to my identity have been the students that I work with. So it's important to be yourself. because being openly you is probably the most important thing you can do for the kids of this generation.
So just chill out. You know, drink a 7-Up, eat a moon pie, quit murdering people.
Oh my God! Haven't we suffered enough? This isn't funny anymore. It's literally called I Hate You. Enough.
Fat shit thin people will never understand. Part 2. I swear whenever I go to visit my doctor, there's these 2 chairs in the room, and I always sit in the one with no arms. But I swear to God, it's always these same 2 chairs. I'm afraid of this one. This one is ouchie no-no. I sit in this one. This one's okay. Walking into a waiting room and it looks like this. Yeah, I'ma just stand. I'm sorry, I can't take a seat. I'ma just stand. These chairs at the bank that they want you to sit in while they try and help you, and you're just standing there and they're like, please sit down, and you're like, I would if I could, Janet. When you pull up to the kickback and the only chair they have for you to sit in is this. Or worse, one of these. I'm sorry, but this chair ain't gonna make it, sis. It ain't gonna make it.